NFL Week 5 recap, and it was very boring. You had a bunch of dogs who won, which is exciting, but it just felt like on Sunday, every single game was a blowout. But let's recap some reactions. The fact that the Arizona Cardinals should not be on the face, I'm not going to say of the earth. I'm not going to say that. They should not be in the NFL whatsoever. That was a horrible collapse. But if we're talking about games, we're just going to recap every single game real quick, having the ones that matter the most. Welcome to the Affaka Show. If what really matters is what we're talking about, let's start it from the top. Thursday Night Football. Rams against the Niners. The Niners had absolutely no one in this game. No. No Bosa, no Purdy, no Pearsall, no Jennings. Everyone was not there. And that's a big issue if you are the Niners, because the Rams have been a wagon and there's no possible way that the Niners can win, right? Well, they ended up winning 26-23, and this is the worst thing that could have happened for this Rams team that seems like they're on a roll. They have a tougher schedule. Everyone's afraid of them. But the Niners said, whoa, Mac Jones, don't forget who I am. Sure, I had a somewhat sketchy pass in Alabama, and sure, I never really panned out as the Patriots quarterback, but don't forget who I am. He had 11 bananas and won them the game. Now, Stafford, what was interesting, he was moving the ball. Stafford was moving the ball, yet nothing was truly happening for this Rams team. They couldn't get going. They had a couple fumbles like Kyron Williams within the red zone. Everything that could have bounced the Niners' way did, especially on that defensive side of the ball. I took Rams minus 6.5. I thought the game was an absolute rout, to the point where I broke one of my golden rules, which is don't double bet a game, especially on the same side. Maybe try the middle, sure, but don't double bet a game on the same side. What did I do? Niners drove down, scored a touchdown. There's no possible way the Rams are losing this. Bet them again at minus 4.5, and bet them again. Was I wrong to do that? Bad. So that was the Thursday Night Football game. Absolute sad. Rams, I just chalk it up to one of those games being weird, right? Vikings 21, Browns 17. There we go. This was a London game, and it was weird. We already had the Vikings team going abroad from the previous week. They played in Germany, so they're kind of used to the whole EMEA region already, but the Browns were there. Justin Addison didn't play the first quarter because no one can find him. I guess he got lost in the sauce. Maybe he went to a nice Indian restaurant. Maybe he got tikka masala. Maybe he got a little lost in the sauce. It happens. Maybe he went out for a pint and got lost in that sauce. It happens. We can only do what we can do. He came down the field to have a big catch in the game-winning drive. The Vikings, they did end up winning this game. Wentz didn't screw up when it mattered the most, which is huge. The Browns, Dillon Gabriel, he felt pretty much as good as you could for a Browns starting quarterback rookie abroad against a Vikings defense that doesn't really let up a ton of passing yards. If I'm the Browns, I'm pretty hopeful. Definitely would have liked to come out with a win, but happy that we got Dillon Gabriel there, right? Overall, I took Browns at plus 4.5, so my bet cashed. I did give them out at plus 3.5 because the line shifted. If you're a DraftKings better, they had them at 4.5 all day long. Not sure why. They must have took a ton of action that they needed some more on the Browns. Eventually, they moved to 3.5, and eventually the game ended, and I won my bet, and some people didn't, and I'm sorry about that. Cowboys 37, Jets 22. Overall, I hate myself for betting the bets. Nope, that's sad. I'm so filled with rage, I can't even say that right. I hate myself for betting on the Jets. Don't say hate yourself. That's too much. No. I do. I should be smarter than this. There was so much late steam. I got caught up in all the Cowboys offensive line. No one's playing. This is going to be bad. I should have thought about that. It didn't matter. The Jets, I was like, oh, Breece Hall's going to have a monster game. He did rush for over 100 yards. Cowboys 37, Jets 22. Again, Cowboys 37, Jets 22. Breece Hall rushed for 100 yards. Didn't make a difference. They still stunk. And honestly, I hate A-Bone in his dumb Jets face. Why? So I kind of blame this loss on Jets Nation. Pickens looks awesome. Dak can move the ball. This offense looks great for the Cowboys. They did what they had to do to win the game. Cowboys are still not great, but they're fun to watch. I'm happy if they have primetime games. And I hate the Jets. The Jets season is dead. Put it in grave. See you later. Giants 14, Saints 26. This was one of the earliest reads that I had the entire week. As soon as Saints opened up -2, something was fishy, something was off, and I bounced on it. That was one of our winners. So right now we are kind of doing on 1-1 though, doing on 1-1 though. I didn't give the Jets out as a play. That was a live bet that I got caught up into listening to all the storylines. What do you want from me? I'm a human. I'm only human, and I hate the Jets. I'm a human that hates the Jets. That's fine. Let's get it together. There's 2 back-to-back fumbles that swung momentum early. I'm pretty sure this was a note for the Patriots game. But what are you going to do? We're going to roll with the punches because I'm a one-take wonder. Giants were rolling. They got up 2 scores very early. Jackson Dart looked like the blowout was coming. The early start did fade once you started going further down the game. The Saints team was able to actually put it together, and Spencer Rattler did put it together enough that he didn't make a ton of mistakes and helped them capitalize on the turnovers, which was needed. Was needed. They're still a deeply flawed team. However, I do believe that this Saints team can be frisky. They always tend to try to be in the games, at least against the spread. They covered last week against the Bills. The Giants, they're not into a complete build. I think the true momentum swinging point was when the Giants' golden boy Cam Scabito fumbled the ball. It put all the momentum to the Saints. They picked it up and drove it back in for a 6. Not to mention Rashid Shaheed had an awesome deep bomb on the game as well. As soon as the momentum shifted to the Saints side, this Giants team was toast. Giants season outlook, dude, expect some volatility. The Saints, you're going to be frisky at most. And God, they're showing the Saquon Barkley touchdown. It's not that impressive. Why are we getting crazy over it? I don't care. Dolphins 24, Panthers 27. Dolphins-Panthers game is probably one of the best ones of the morning slate. However, I didn't even watch it. Dolphins, they don't have Tyreek Hill. It seemed like it didn't really slow their offense down, but they actually did because now they don't have run game. Achane ran the ball for 16 yards on 10 rush attempts, so that's pretty sad. Panthers, they're the most black and white team in the NFL. One day they look fantastic. The next day they looked horrible. It's like, hey, you can go out there and play the game bad, but it's the opposite day, so then now you have to do good. There's really no reading this Panthers team either, which I think kind of messes me up. Unless what we find out later, this Patriots team is really that good. That's why they smoked the Panthers like that. Raiders 6, Colts 40. This was another one that I had as the Colts all week long. And I got obsessed with reading, every single sharp in the mother's hitting this Raiders team 7.5. They must know something I don't. 7.5's a key number. Man, was I a sucker. I was a sucker. I was basically the equivalent that you shoot up, that's the boogie suck for kids. And I also got basted like a turkey on this one. I got basted like a turkey because I flipped last second to the Raiders. Didn't give it out because I wasn't confident, right? Daniel Jones is Geno Smith's daddy. Daniel Jones was Geno Smith's daddy. Jonathan Taylor had 3 touchdowns. Daniel Jones, the entire Colts team looked like a wagon. They picked off Geno, I believe, 2 to 3 times. I would love to give you more information about this Colts team, but I actively try to shut it off. The outlook is the Raiders stink, and they're mad at me now, and I hate them. I hate them. Who do I hate more, the Raiders or the Jets? Honestly, the Raiders, because the Jets are at least supposed to be a good team. The Jets are not supposed to be a good team, and we know that. Their history is bad. Their defense is bad. I burped on live camera. These are all facts. But the Raiders, they got Genty. They got Crosby. The offensive line is just so bad. That's really kind of what draws me. Broncos 21, Eagles 17. Every single sign the mother said, take the Broncos, take the Broncos, take the Broncos. I didn't listen, and I was a sucker. This was one of my losers of the week. Life caught up with the Eagles. The Eagles do not have what it takes to kind of stick around in some of these big games. Something is broken with the offense. No. Is it fixable? Yes. Is this a story you've heard before? Yes, it happens every single season start for Jalen Hurts because he has a new coordinator. It takes him a little bit. Jalen Hurts is not going to be like, oh, come on, second date, let's go. No. He's going to make you work for it. Once you get there, though, Jalen Hurts, he's going to be able to throw the ball. He's going to be able to run the ball. He's going to be able to provide the team with some points. There was also some key injuries that happened early. I believe Jurgens went out for a little bit. I think it's Jurgens. If I'm mistaken with someone else, I'm sorry. The Broncos did not look great in the first half. The Eagles, they looked fine. They were up, right? If you're looking at it from just a points perspective, the Eagles look good. If you're looking at it from a realist perspective, they're not looking as good as they should. That's why in the second half, this Broncos team was able to fight back. Bo Nix impressed because he switched it on when it needed to be. Jalen Hurts in this offense, though, for the Eagles, they couldn't get anything going. Sometimes you need to get things going in time, but you had no time, but you stunk. But there's also a pass interference on the 6-yard line that no one seems to be talking about, but everyone does seem to be talking about, but I'm so salty, so I'm bringing it up again, where the Eagles would have been able to pass from the 6-yard line for a touchdown, and it did not seem like that was the case because they did not call it, but that was pass interference. I don't care what anyone says. Outlook on the season, Broncos deserve to win that game. Look, the Eagles, I understand you've been winning so good. You just played bad. You played bad and you deserve to lose. It's a reality check. You needed a reality check, and I'm happy that this Eagles team was able to obtain a reality check. No, I'm not. I wish they would never lose another game. Texans 44, Ravens 10. No more Lamar Jackson. Oh, but Cooper Rush is good. And Stroud doesn't have anything. No. It did not matter. Stroud said, okay, it's time. Let's turn it on. Sure, if it was Lamar, maybe I would cradle a little bit. Maybe I would go pee-pee in my pants. Maybe I'd go pee-pee potty in my pants. But like Lamar almost did because he almost made it number 2. But then he decided, no. This is the game. I am CJ Stroud. I am him. Which apparently that movie got terrible reviews. I wasn't going to watch it because I don't do scary things. But they came into M&T Bank Stadium and just absolutely whopped them. This game was over. This game was a rout. Cooper Rush did not have what it took to hang around with this Ravens team whatsoever. No, with this Texans team. But the Texans, they become better. They're getting there. CJ Stroud getting some protection. The only issue is their division's not tough. You have the Colts, who are an absolute wagon, and then you have the Jacksonville Jaguars, who are good, bad. But Jacksonville Jaguars are good enough to put up a fight. I mean, they beat up the Texans last time they played, so that's that. Titans 22, Cardinals 21. I am kind of upset that I stayed away from this Titans team. All the signs were on them to take them at 7.5. I didn't. I ignored them. Like, he's going to have to prove it to me. Cam Ward, if he wants me to bet on him. He kind of proved it, but also didn't because the Cardinals were up by so much, and it was the biggest collapse by any team this season. If you're a Cardinals fan, first and foremost, I'm just sorry for what you have to go through. If you want to burn your Kyle Murray jersey, I'm not going to say don't do it. That's a bad idea because I can see you doing it and having that be a good idea. Simple as that. Folks. They dominated the whole game. They're up 21-6 with less than 11 minutes left in the fourth quarter. DeMarcado even streaked out for, oh my God, it's going to be a sick touchdown, and then fumbled it on the 1-yard line. Didn't you learn from Adonai Mitchell? Didn't you learn? I guess not. I guess Princess Diana did not teach you right. You have to finish your food. Just run through the end zone. It's really that simple. Titans, they must have had some weird Etsy witch stuff going on because they got very lucky with that interception, fumble, and recovery from the other team in the end zone. But it's actually your team, and now it's a touchdown. I don't know. My brain hurt trying to write it down. I watched it, and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to talk about it. Cam Ward, definitely some rookie plays. Didn't look great at all times, but he got his first win. Outlook on the season, the Cardinals team is an absolute bad vibes team. The Titans team is absolute not good. Those are my notes. Absolute not good, absolute bad vibes on the other side. Buccaneers 38, Seahawks 35. This is probably the most exciting game of the morning slate, except I was a little bit upset because I had -3.5 for the Seahawks, and that was one of my losers of the weekend. Baker just goes on game-winning drives and win games. That's what it comes down to. Baker goes on game-winning drives and wins games. 38-35, what I said, right? Tons of points. It was a points fiesta. Mika Ibuka is an actual stud. This kid is so legit, and he is just going to go so many places. He's going to go high. When he first got drafted, I wasn't sure because I was like, all right, you know, they have Mike Evans, they have Chris Godwin. Maybe he'll be like the third wide receiver, have a couple games. I was like, oh, maybe he's like a Tutu Atwell. Oh boy, was I wrong. He is the wide receiver 1 on this team right now, and no one can say different. I don't care how good Mike Evans is, how good Chris Godwin is. Emeka Ibuka is a receiver 1, and the stats prove it. Sox, on the other hand, the offense took a little bit to get going, but they started moving. And I think it's funny how Charbonnet is just vulturing every single one of Kenneth Walker's touchdowns. I bet Kenneth Walker doesn't think it's funny, but they eventually were able to get their offense moving. Sam Darnold did not look like he was regressing. 79 for 2 touchdowns, pretty great. Overall, this was a fun game. Bucks, they proved that Baker just helps you win games. And the Seattle Seahawks, they proved that they're fun and that Baker is going to beat them, but then also, like, you know, you have a fun team to stick around. Okay, people. Lions 37, Bengals 24. Don't let the final box score fool you in this one. It was an absolute rout. The only thing that was in question was if the Bengals were able to keep it within 10 or not. Jared Goff, another complete. I'm Jared Goff. I have a supermodel wife. Take control type of the game. and Jahmyr Gibbs rocks. Amon-Ra went on for another 100 yards. We've seen the same thing the past 3 games or whatever it is. Jake Browning looked clueless, and we're talking like the early sitcom, rom-com 2000s clueless there because he could not get anything moving at all. The Bengals, they need Jameis Winston so bad. It would be so much fun to watch Jameis just air the ball out to T. Higgins, to Jamar Chase, to the defenders. Like, that's the type of football I want to see. However, Cincinnati's never going to pay his contracts. We'll never see that. They'll probably end up being worse than the Browns, Cincinnati in the division, because the Cleveland Browns at least have a defense and somewhat of an offense. Like, would you rather take Dylan Gabriel and Jake Browning? I'm not entirely certain that you wouldn't. I'm just saying that. Not too much to recap in terms of pivotal movements, pivotal things. It's kind of a boring game. But I did have the under, and that sucked. That sucked a lot. How is that not PI? I'm also watching the game. Commanders 27, Chargers 10. Right now, the Chargers, they started off hot. And then Washington flipped the game. Daniels' legs completely changed the game. That type of just running ability is something that this team really lacks. Sure, Marcus Mariota, he was able to do some stuff, but oh my God. Why did you try to take that back from the Jaguars? Marcus Mariota, he was able to do some things, but not much. Not much in terms of Jane Daniels. Bill was the big story here. 14 carries, 111 yards. He did fumble the ball. And that almost changed the entire flip of the script. Doesn't matter though, he scored 2 touchdowns. So shout out Bill for that one. Chargers, they kind of like own divisional wins against the Broncos and the Chiefs and the Raiders. No one cares about the Raiders, though. However, this Chiefs team seems to be steaming back. This Broncos team seems to be coming alive. And the Chargers team seems to be on the downhill. My prediction was pretty spot on with this Commanders at +3. A big point of this, this Chargers offensive line is not built to last because they're all injured. They have tons of injuries on the ball. Seems like every single player is getting injured, and that's just bad if you want to win games. Very tough to win games if you're not healthy. The Commanders are getting there. You have Jane Daniels, that's your X factor. You live and die by him. Overall, though, future looking out, Commanders, they can still put something together, right? I think they're 2-3 now. 2-3. Correct me if I'm wrong on that one. And then the Chargers are 3-2. I would anticipate this. Commanders seem to have a better season than the Chargers, but they're both, hey, we're better than the average, but we're not a juggernaut. Your night game was Bills 20, Patriots 23. It was a snoozer of a first half of a game. I was not impressed with the Bills whatsoever. They could not move the ball. James Cook could not move the ball. The bright lights were too bright for them. But you know who wasn't too bright enough for? Drake May. Drake May really came into full effect. It did not matter to him that Ramondre Stevenson just keeps taking the ball and throwing it on the ground for the other team to then pick up and be like, okay, this is good. It does not matter to him. He came out lights out, and he had some plays I was like, ooh, Josh Allen. Getting a little jealous there? I'm not sure. Towards the end of the game, it looked like, okay, this is Josh Allen. He's going to take this thing to overtime. He's going to win it. However, Drake May, as he was getting sacked, got the ball off somehow right before his knee hit. Stephon Diggs caught it, ran it for first down. I think he had like 10 receptions for 146 yards. So Diggs, total revenge game. I think he was sick and tired of everyone just being so negative about him. I don't blame him. Chiefs, Jags. Look, we're playing this game right now. We're in the third quarter of this Chiefs-Jaguars game. Chiefs do look like they have total control. However, Jacksonville's down a touchdown. They have a ton of field to go for. But it's 14-7 right now. Trevor Lawrence hands off, and they did a wide receiver screen with BTJ, and he got 8 yards. That's kind of what the game's going to be. I'm sure this game's going to end with the under 45.5 hitting, and then I'm sure the Chiefs are going to win by a field goal, and that's going to be your game, folks. I don't think there's going to be a ton of points, something tells me. And what else do I see envisioning happening? That's it. So let's go over my rankings tier right now. We're going to have to move the Bills and the Eagles back. I think it goes Chiefs first, then the Lions, then the Bills, then the Eagles. I think we move Colts up, Ravens down. All right, people. It goes Juggernaut tier, Kansas City Chiefs, Lions, Bills, Eagles, Rams. Then you have Colts, Bucks, Jaguars, Niners, Green Bay, Broncos. And then you have Dallas Cowboys moving up into that third tier, the not rotten milk tier. That's where we're going to have Chargers to Ravens. And then we have food at home tier. Still going to be the Falcons to the Raiders. And then I like, because of the number, but I hate the team, is going to be the Dolphins to the Tennessee Titans. However, Tennessee Titans are not last now. That's going to be your New York Jets and your Raiders are my two last spots on this merry-go-round, people. They're the two last spots on this merry-go-round. And honestly, yeah, that's what I'm thinking. That was a whole bunch of nonsense towards the end of the clip here. People, I hope you enjoyed the Affaka Show. That's it for me for tonight.